All right. Here
There we go. What's up, everyone?
What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Lenard, subprime hero.
And we are Brewing Solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. And we are excited to be here with the one,
the only, Courtney Paschal. That's right. What's going on?
Thank you.
Now, you're no stranger to Brewing Solutions with us. You're no stranger to being able to get a conversation going and brewing, if you will. Right? But tell us, what's been going on with you? What's been popping lately? Because there's a lot that's cooking inside your world.
Oh, there's so much. Working a lot. So working and doing a lot of community involvement. And I stay really busy with all of that. So
Community involvement. So tell us a little bit more about what's happening in the community, because we challenge all of you to be active inside of your community. Because a solutionary isn't there to just make dollars, make sense, make customers happy, but also to be an impact to the community. And you do a lot of different things. Like, we don't even have enough time to get in here to talk about all the places that you go and people that you try to help. But tell us more about the community involvement that you actually do.
So, it all started with my dealership. So they sent me to a leadership class. And for a year, every Thursday, once a month, I would go and I would view all of our 300 nonprofits that are here in Amarillo.
Wow.
So that was a very eye-opening experience. And through that, back in 2020, I started getting involved. I started doing a lot of stuff, going through boards and committees and everything, trying to figure out where I fit in and where I was meant to be. And found a group that's called No Boundaries International. It's a faith-based nonprofit organization who helps everybody in hard and dark places. And we fight against human trafficking here in Amarillo and surrounding cities. So
wow,
yeah.
That's awesome. One, I did get one of the shirts, loved it, and I want one in every color that you have it in. But the reaching people in dark places, what's been your motivator for that?
God.
Wow. Amen to that.
Come on.
Yeah, so not only I get to speak through these people, and but it's not me; it's the Holy Spirit speaking through me to these people, and to be able to look at everybody, every human, and look at them the way Jesus looks at them is absolutely amazing.
Oh man,
what a blessing that you're able to do. And that's the thing, like being able to do something that's more than cars. I hate to get cliche with the Automotive State of the Union, but it is. The jobs that we do afford us opportunities like that. The jobs that we do actually help us build more community. The jobs that we do actually help us be able to have the passions that we have in our heart, which is your Lord Jesus Christ, right? And I love that you're about that. You're about sharing that, but you're also about helping your community and helping people who are in places that they think are impossible to come away from. And you're able to go in there and show them, no, here's a hand that's guiding you towards this. Matter of fact, he's ready and he loves you no matter what you've done. So come on,
Yes.
Come with us and I'll show you the way. And the way is an amazing. God's an amazing person. He's changed my life. He's made me a better person too. And he's made me who I am today. And I'm so blessed that that he's part of my heart, And I think that a lot of people have God in their heart, but they get confused sometimes. I know I did, right? So when you get confused, sometimes you blame him for everything, when at the end of the day, you look later and you look at all the stuff you're blaming him for, you're like, thank you for that. And it's hard to see that until you have some gratitude. It's hard to see that until you've been through it and then let your heart open back up to him. So I'm glad you're out there sharing that message with people, because it's super important.
Yeah, and I would have never gotten into any of that if it wasn't for Street Toyota sending me out and doing these leadership classes. For all of that, I can go back and I can help, with Fred's help, mentor my employees and people in the community because of your help.
Oh,
and
you do all the work. The only thing I do is talk to her like she's my little sister, right? Because she is. One thing I love about you, Courtney, is that you're always trying to get better. I mean, listen, none of us are perfect. She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. Lou's not perfect, but she's looking for ways just to get better, ways to honor her God, right? Ways to honor her family, ways to be more community involved. And you do it all yourself. All I do is just encourage you along the way. Like, yes, do that. It's great.
So there are times where I get home and I'm like, yeah, Fred told me to do that. And my husband, Brad, is like, I've been telling you to do that for months. You don't listen to me, but you listen to Fred.
Well, it's a reaffirmation. Like, one thing that's for sure, it's if anybody who's a parent out there that has kids, we all know that we can tell our kids something all the time, but if someone else's parents tell them they do it, if a coach tells them they do it, if a teacher, all of a sudden it's like a new idea. You're like, I've been telling you this the whole time, right? So, and it's important to get that from someone else, because when we have people that love us, we understand that a lot of times they're giving us advice, but we're like, whatever, right? But then we hear from somebody else, you're like, oh, that's amazing. So, but Brad is a very smart guy. He married you, right? So that's a big win for him. So good for him and good for you both. I think you guys are a dynamic duo doing some amazing things in automotive. I want to throw a quick highlight to her real fast. If you guys don't know, and I'm sure you do, 40 under 40 automotive news this year. I mean, fantastic job. That was a big goal of hers at the beginning of the year. Last year, she was in there, didn't quite make it past that first cut, right? This year, she was worried about it, but she did everything right. She kept moving and growing. She reapplied. She had a ton of people that were out there supporting her that wanted her to be nominated. So I know it was going to happen. I even told her that it's happening. It's like a foregone conclusion. Like you're definitely going to make it. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know that's not your life goal is to make that, but that is a great stepping stone to help you be able to have the validation that you deserve to be able to speak at events like this, to be able to know that your voice is heard, right? And guess what? It's heard very loudly right now.
Oh, good.
Very loud, very loud. And we love to get the chance to hear about what is. We did say something earlier about being able to see people the way that Jesus sees us. I mean, that's something that we want to try to make sure that we do encourage a culture of, and that's just of honor, right? Where we can actually look at somebody and honor them for who it is that they are, not being tripped up by who it is that they're not, and making sure that inside of that process we find out how we add to them. Now, you and Brad are a bit of a power couple, right? You guys are in this industry, working things out together, learning together, and kind of forging your own way. What is it like having a spouse that speaks the language of this business at home with you?
So I'll be honest with you. At first, it was very difficult because we both brought work home. And that's all we talked about.
That never happened.
Yeah, never. So we had to compromise a lot and figure out, okay, for only 15 minutes when I get home from the dealership, because you've been at home all day on the vendor side, we only have 15 minutes to talk about our day. And after that, we cannot talk about work anymore.
I mean, that's nice.
I love that. It's smart.
Yeah.
It is. It's smart because it's okay. We need to be able to let out, explain that, but we also need to make sure that we separate that and understand that we need to talk about our relation, us, because work can be very overwhelming, especially in the automotive industry. We have a lot of stuff put on our shoulders, a lot of pressures, a lot of dealers. Like your husband's been involved with so many different dealers over the years. You're involved with a big dealer group that has a huge market share in the Amarillo area, so you're constantly busy. You're running a department that is constantly, it's one of the hardest departments to run in automotive next to sales, and that's the B2C department. And when you're looking at people making outbound calls and they're doing their job, there's a lot of different personalities in there. There's a lot of different things, much like the sales department. So you got to learn how to manage those and then deal with the bad apples. But here's the deal. There's not a lot of bad apples, but there's a lot of people that are different today. There's a lot of people who have different expectations of what work looks like, or maybe processes. Like some people just don't want to do it. Like they just want to show up and get paid. And that's not the way this industry works. So, overcoming that's a big deal. But talking about that all day long when you get home to your husband or your spouse is not something good either. You want to let them know, hey, it was a good day, bad day, this is what happened, and then move on. But holding on to that and letting it linger will just bring it back into the workplace the next day, make it even worse. So just let it go. Forget, focus, fly, and keep going, right? That's something that's super important.
Well, it's really hard when I'm like, yeah, this guy said this or this guy did that. And he's like, all right, I'm going up to work.
Right.
I'm going to go, who do I need to beat up? And I'm like, no, I can do it.
Yeah, you can.
I can't beat him up.
There's no doubt. She could definitely handle herself wherever she's at. But what I love about you is, through our mentor, us talking about what's happening at work, is how emotional you are with your people. Like in a good way. I don't mean emotional like crybaby emotional. What I mean is like she takes everything that they do and what they want to her heart. Like if they're having a bad day, she's having a bad day. If they're having a good day, she's having a good day, because she wants everybody to feel great. So you're very emotionally attached to your team. So I love that you're that way. But it's hard. It's hard to separate that between business and friendship. I know it is. And sometimes you got to leave it to business. For you, what's one of the hardest things about leading a team?
How many different personalities there are. And you have to almost accommodate each personality in your room to make everybody work as a team. And that is sometimes really hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. And that's truth. And I think that everybody can relate to that. So what are you doing to make a difference in that?
So we do the great news every day.
Hey.
And there are times where I get so busy that they're like, hey, can we do great news? And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, let me stop what I'm doing because this is way more important.
Yeah.
And we do the great news. And so it just is really enlightening that they will stop me and they're like, hey, it's time. It's team building time.
I love that, you know, and that's something I know you work a lot on is team building, and you're always trying to find new ways. You know, I know that you incorporate that. You even done some of the little different adjustments with it. I love that. You know, I keep encouraging you all out there. If you're going to do something with your team and you don't have an idea, sit down and just talk about what's great in their lives. Try to find gratitude. You're going to find that most of them are going to have a hard time at first, but if you do it consistently, they'll be ready for you. They'll have great information to share with people to make sure that they get it. Sometimes you'll be in the middle of one and you're one the second. Let's say you're second or third that they're going to call. The first one comes up and you don't know what to say. You hear them and you start to get inspired by them. You're like, oh, that's right. I do have some great things going on. Because we forget that. That's why it's important. Starting with gratitude is massive. And, you know, I have a lot of gratitude for you, Courtney, I as a friend, as somebody that you always give me too much credit for some of your success. I appreciate that, but you do it all. You know, and I appreciate how you and Brad treat me like family. You're always keeping us like involved and let me know what's going on in your life. But I appreciate that a lot. So I have a lot of gratitude for you and Brad both. And I have nothing but best wishes for you both. And I know your future is super bright. And I know, you know, she's working at a dealership right now and she's doing a great job. And but the thing about life in automotive is that odds are you won't retire there, right? Odds are you're going to be somewhere. It's not that she's saying that she's doing that. I'm just saying, but the odds are not. So folks, I'm just saying, like, be looking for some big things from her. Be looking for some amazing stuff because one day those boots that she's wearing, they're going to be too small and she's going to have to get some new boots, right? So I'm proud of you. I'm excited about everything you're doing. We're going to be over at Drive Centric booth later today. Folks, come check it out at 1 o'clock. We're going to be talking about what it's like to be mentored and what it's like to team up and collab and to be team built with that, right? But also she's going to be dropping some great knowledge on how their system works extremely well in their stores. And then Lou, he's going to be opening up for us, getting us all pumped up and introducing us. So be ready, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time right here at the Drive Centric booth. We're going to have some fun. But come check us out at PureCars. We're here all day long. We're going to be fun. Our next interview is coming up. You can probably see her right back there somewhere. It is April Simmons. And if you guys know who she is, great. If you don't, where are you? Who are you? Right? We're going to bring it on. So I'm getting a cramp in my left leg. So we're about to run this thing out. You ready, Lou?
We are ready for this. So, Courtney, you already know what to do to make sure that we do keep growing, and that's apply those F-bombs to donor friend the moms. Make sure that we forgive, we focus, and we fly so we can keep growing.
That's
so
right.
Let's do it loud and proud. Here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing.
Keep growing. So excited to have you on today. You are amazing. Car Guys, I'm Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Fred Leonard, Subprime Hero.
And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast here at the PureCars booth at Digital Dealer 2023 in fabulous Las Vegas with the one,
the only Courtney Paschal.
That's right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Peace.